Moving to a different country is terrifying, especially when it comes to shipping. You're basically putting your entire life's worth of stuff on a boat and just hoping that it gets there safely. So in this video, I'm sharing my experience of shipping all of my stuff from the UK to Jamaica. Whether you're planning to move or you're just curious about international shipping, this video will give you a real look at what to expect. It's going to be in-depth, so use the video chapters if you're looking for something specific, and stick around to the end to see if any of my stuff got damaged. Anyways, let's head back up. So just a quick note, I actually ship my stuff as a returnee resident so I could save on import fees, which is slightly different to the standard route. I'll go over the application real quick for those interested, but if not, just check the chapters below and skip ahead. Just go to jca.gov.jm, search returnee resident, and you'll find the eligibility page. Go ahead and click applications and booking, fill in your info, and they'll email you a link with the password for the actual form. Once you're in, you just answer some questions and upload the required documents. Honestly, I would try and get this done ASAP, because processing delays are almost guaranteed, as you're about to see. The biggest lesson I think I learned from this process was keep an eye on your application status 100% of the time, because the returnee department's correspondence is not the greatest. Let me explain. So when I first sent my application in, they sent me 2 emails back asking for documents that I thought I had already attached to my application. I sent them in again anyways, and then I just never heard anything back. I called them just to see what was up, and they said, very confidently might I add, that I still hadn't sent any of the stuff that they asked for, which was kind of ironic because I was literally looking at my computer at those emails that I had just sent them a couple days ago. So I just kindly asked if she could check, to which I think that kind of maybe pissed her off a little bit, not gonna lie. But obviously she checked and it was there. A little bit of silence after that on the phone, but eventually she said that they'll try and get my stuff processed within a day. And then a few more days went by without hearing anything. I got a little worried at that point and obviously called back again to check. And apparently one of the things that I sent in was wrong, but I don't know if they were ever actually going to call or email to tell me. Maybe I'm supposed to just figure that out by the silence. Maybe they were just busy and would have eventually told me, but I'm glad I called back to check. To be honest, I feel like these departments are understaffed and overworked, so I can see why they might overlook certain things, but trust me when I say they will speak to you like you're an irrelevant inconvenience to their life. Anyways, we got through in the end, they sent me my acceptance email, and then we moved on to the next bit. So when it comes to actually getting my stuff here, I ended up going with a company called Carib Shipping. Not sponsored by them or anything, but I chose them in the end after doing a ton of research because their website was laid out really well, they had really good Google reviews, their prices were decent, and they were really professional over the phone. They also just simply didn't seem sketchy like some of the other options. For 5 barrels and then a pallet that weighed about 100 kg on its own, it came up to about 1,600 pounds, which does sound like a lot, but bear in mind the barrels had the door-to-door service as well. The pallet we obviously had to go collect though. Please do your research when it comes to choosing a shipping company, because I've heard some horror stories from people who've either had stuff lost or damaged or just outright scams. My family even had a really bad experience 2 years ago when they shipped their stuff. I actually used Google Maps a lot for my research, because not only can you check if these companies are real and have a physical location, but the Google reviews are literally right there. Also, pro tip for anyone who lives in England but doesn't live in London, a lot of these companies will only collect stuff from London, so otherwise you have to find a way to get your stuff to them before they ship it out. I was actually living in Sheffield for a short time before I left the country, and I had to pay a van driver to grab my stuff from Sheffield to then bring it to their warehouse to then finally be shipped. Just keep in mind all these little extra things that take money out of your pocket. Overall, it is a fairly long process. Like, from the moment that you actually choose a shipping company and make a payment to the moment that you either collect your stuff or have it delivered, that can be at least a couple months. The actual shipping only takes about 4 to 6 weeks though. But you know what though? Enjoy every moment of peace that you have before you see the inside of Kingston Wharf, because it all ends there. I'm going to tell you straight up, when it comes to collecting your stuff from the wharf, just clear your schedule for the entire day. We were there for 6 hours, and that's not including the hour that it took us to get to Kingston in the first place. The whole process is kind of weird, and it doesn't help that that entire area really feels like a maze. I'll put a visual on screen for you. A lot of these roads are meant to be one way, but everyone's kind of just driving however they want regardless. I didn't even actually go straight into the wharf where my stuff was held. It was addressed to the Jamaica Freight Company, so I had to go into their building first, give them the bill of lading, then after paying their fee, because it's separate from the customs fee, they send you over to the wharf. And when I got there, that's when the real chaos starts. You walk in, show your documents, and then you get into a queue to pay another fee. Then they told me to go speak to security about going to the warehouse. But then the security sent me around the corner to a different cash desk, who again told me to go back to the security point because I needed to go to the warehouse. Then a different lady at security just said that I have to sit in the waiting room until they call my name. I waited for 4 hours straight, and at one point I thought maybe I made a mistake, maybe they called my name and I just didn't hear them, but apparently not. Eventually we got through and I was sent into the warehouse, but more chaos. There's staff running back and forth getting stuff done and processing things. There's people who came to collect their barrels, having them emptied out onto tables so that they can be checked. But then when it came to people who came for pallets, we were kind of just told to stand next to them and then wait for someone to come to us and start the process, which was sketchy because I thought one of the forklifts that was flying by was just going to run me over. By the way, if you're ever in this situation, don't wait around for anyone. Just try and see if you can find someone that can help, because these people will happily let you just stand there for ages doing nothing. I got lucky that some lady from the office came out and noticed that I needed help. She basically told me to open up the boxes so that they could actually see what's inside, and then go back into the waiting room while further processing goes on. I definitely should have had a proper look at the stuff myself while I was there, but my brain was barely functioning at that point, so I just went back into the waiting room. Another pro tip though, if you are doing this as a returnee resident, you have to tell them because it's not in their system at all and they will not know, and they will give you the full customs charge instead of the exemptions fee. You know what, just bring as much documentation as you can, because I don't really know what goes on in these offices. Maybe their systems are slow, but just bring everything. Anyways, processing took quite a bit after this point. Like, from the point that I left the warehouse to the point where I made my final payment was like, I think like another 40 minutes. Then after you've made that final payment, they give you your release form, and then they send you to go get your stuff. And even this part was long as hell. When my dad and I drove the car around, they checked the release form, then they took both of our phone numbers and my dad's driving license number. Not really sure what they needed all this information for, but cool, whatever. Then we just waited for like another 15 to 20 minutes for them to bring my pallet out. In the end, we got out of there at like 10 past 6 p.m. Bear in mind, we got there at like 11:30 or 12 in the morning. To be fair, I still had it easy. Some other guy was there from like 9 a.m. and he didn't get through much faster than I did. If I knew ahead of time that I was going to be stuck there for 6 hours, then I would have brought food, maybe a power bank, I don't know, maybe a pillow? Obviously not. But anyways, moment of truth, let's see the condition of my stuff. Alright, so this is pretty much it, or at least this is everything that was on the pallet. We do still have 5 barrels coming, but that won't be for at least another week, I think. I need to get an update on that. So for now, I just wanted to, make sure there's no physical damage, and then if that's all good, we'll bring them upstairs to the living room. Up there, I can actually start plugging things in to check if they work. And yeah, I guess let's just start tearing things open and get to the moment of truth. It's kind of annoying that I couldn't do like a full unboxing because I obviously had to open a lot of the stuff when I was at the wharf, but I kind of only partially opened the boxes, so this is as much as I could do. I think I'll actually start, I was going to start with the TV, but let's go ahead and just get this guy open. So, PC monitor. Please tell me that I actually put the plug in with this thing. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, seems fine. To be fair, like, I was lucky that they actually let me open up all my boxes. Like, the pallet was still fully wrapped when I got there. So it's kind of nice that, like, I didn't have to think about, like, okay, are they going to be really rough with all my items and things like that? I don't think it's going to be the same case with the barrels because that's door to door. So we'll have to kind of just see how that goes. Whether they actually open up and take everything out, I think they're supposed to, but we'll see. Alright, printer. The thing that I'm most excited for is actually that EcoFlow unit, because that is brand new. Yeah, it looks like not only did I pack these things well, but Carib Shipping definitely took care of me. Everything looks fine. Like, even the boxes themselves are in great condition. They have good reviews for a reason. There was one other thing as well, by the way. It's just not in this shot. It's just a bicycle. It wasn't really worth, like, unboxing per se, because I didn't really put that much protective wrapping around it. It's a steel frame bike. It would be fine. Right. TV itself. Oh, Okay. I feel like I'm more of a danger to my own stuff than the people at the wharf would have been. We've got the remote, the legs for the TV. I think I'm too concerned with trying to preserve this bubble wrap. I probably should just tear this open. Right. Yeah. No, looks good. So far, no cracks, no like dents in the screen. Yeah, it looks fine to me. Right, so this is definitely what I'm the most excited for. This is the EcoFlow Delta 2, which is basically a solar generator, or power station, sometimes it's called, and the EcoFlow 160 watt solar panel. I feel like I was the most and least worried about these two, because they are the most expensive items that I shipped, whether it was the pallets or the barrels. These were definitely the two most expensive because they were brand new. And I was kind of the least worried about them because they probably had the best packaging because they're new. Even just looking in here, like they've got like the proper foam, like, you know, dense foam packaging and stuff like that. That's actually a lot smaller than I thought. Hold on. I'm really trying not to turn this into like just an EcoFlow unboxing, but I guess I'm just really excited about this thing. Knowing how clumsy I am, I should not be holding it like this. I accidentally turned it on. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, the display is working, so I guess I don't have to worry about this one as much. I need to read the instructions. Right, last but not least, the solar panel. I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful about this. I say that about everything. I say I need to be careful, and then I'm not careful. You've seen how I've unboxed all this stuff. That did not look careful. So let me just get this damn thing open. See, I was about to try and pull this whole thing out, but it's just this little box here. I'm assuming this is just cables. Oh, that's real nice. Again, a little bit smaller than I would have imagined, but that is nice. Like, I wasn't expecting this, like, proper carrying case for it. Can't complain. Can't complain at all. Folds out. Wow. I'm obviously not gonna unfold the whole thing. This is the first ever solar panel and first ever solar, like, generator or power station that I've ever owned. Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole video on these two at some point anyways, so maybe I shouldn't get too, like, wrapped up in this, but the quality on this is solid, man. Right, so now we should probably go plug some stuff in and see if it works. So luckily, no damage, at least to the stuff on the pallet. This whole process was an absolute pain, but in a weird way I'm kind of happy that we actually went down to the wharf to pick up my stuff, because I was the one who actually got to open my pallet myself, which does cut out some risk for damage at least. So yeah, that was the pallet. The barrels though, that's a whole other story. In part 2 I'll actually tell you if they survived the trip, or if they just got trashed, which is similar to what happened to my family stuff 2 years ago. There should be a link to that video somewhere up here, but if it's not out yet, then check this one out instead. Guarantee you it's got like 10 times less stress than this stuff.